Hi, my name is Mark. If you're a fan of either Frank Zappa and or Dweezil Zappa, or even perhaps Guthrie Govan and Marty Friedman, and even Eric Johnson, you may be into those sort of odd note groupings, aka fitting an uneven number of notes per beat. You have the most common ones like triplets, like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, and even quintuplets 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5. And if you're anything like some of my students, even though at first they may sound a little bit weird and maybe a little bit awkward to play, even if after a while they get easier to play, you may feel like they don't really naturally occur in your own playing, like they do in the playing of those players mentioned before. And trust me, I get it. I mean, there are tons of reasons for why that may be. But there's an exercise that I usually give to my students, and that I'm going to share with you in this video, that may help you with adding these sorts of odd notes groupings to your own solos and riffs. But before we get into it, I just want to say, please subscribe to my channel. You're probably aware that YouTube's been acting a little bit weird lately. Even if you subscribe to a channel, those channels' videos may really not show up in your subscription box. And even if you ring the little notification bell thingy below, you still really may not be notified of that channel's content. So if you want to stay tuned to my content or the content of your favorite creators, you really should subscribe and turn on all the notifications. And since that may or may not work, I highly suggest you follow me on social media. Not only do I post some exclusive stuff there, like improvised solos and jamming over backing tracks, and generally whatever I'm up to at the moment, but I always post there about my videos. Links for the usual suspects will be below, like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, even though I don't really post much on Twitter, but in general, at Mark Enrique's Guitar. And since you're down there, please consider leaving a like, and perhaps check out some of my other videos after this one. Perhaps you'd like to check out, learn all of the picking techniques, and perhaps get a girlfriend just by learning this one riff? Or even maybe, how about this awesome trick to improvise and play over chord changes that is approved by Marty Friedman and Jason Becker? And lastly but not leastly, how about checking out this one lick that has all the outside notes possible? All of those videos will be on the description below, on the card section right there, and on the annotations of the end screen. So please, stay tuned. And I guess now we can get straight into it. And before you say anything about the homeless guy gloves, yeah, I know, I get it, but it's getting colder and colder here in Portugal, and this is kind of my shameless way to keep my hands warm. And before we get into the lesson, I should say that if you're a downwards pick slanter, aka you do your picking with your pick facing down instead of up, it may help with what we are going to play, but trust me, it's not really a requirement of any sort. Getting a little bit more to the point of the video, if you have some sort of a medium tempo, it is weirdly satisfying to just play stuff in an even number of notes. But when you start to add groupings with an uneven number of notes, things get slightly more interesting because your ears can pick up on the little tension that's added between playing even stuff and uneven stuff. And many times when you're playing, whether you're improvising or you're playing somebody else's solo or riff or whatever, you find these sorts of triplets hiding here and there, mixed along with your straight 8th note and 16th note stuff. But again, if you listen to guys like Eric Johnson and even Joe Bonamassa, because he's highly influenced by Eric Johnson, or even some of the OG Marty Friedman fans with that little old cassette thingy, you'll hear a little bit of these odd note groupings, especially those 5-note groupings. And as mentioned before, if you listen to Frank or Dweezil Zappa, you'll hear this sort of stuff a lot. And if you're not really sure how to add these sorts of things, the trick I like to use is to build sentences. If you want to get a 5-note grouping, for instance, what I usually tell my students is find a word that has 5 syllables. Like hippopotamus, for instance. Hippopotamus. That's the words we need to build a sentence. Now let's say an easy one like, please stop the hippopotamus. I know it sounds cringy, but let's keep going with it. What you should try and do is, if you grab a medium tempo, is to fit in that sentence in that tempo. AKA just try to put a word in each beat. Like, please stop the hippopotamus. Please stop the hippopotamus. Please stop the hippopotamus. And after you get it, you just play it while you say it, or you just memorize it and you go like, please stop the hippopotamus. Please stop the hippopotamus. Please stop the hippopotamus. And if you need to do some sort of Eric Johnson pattern where you just do these 5-note groupings, for instance, it's exactly the same thing. You just need to think hippopotamus, 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 hippopotamus. hippopotamus. And that's pretty much it. Things just start to get a little bit more messy when you try to go for more than 5 or 6 note groupings, because you start to find lesser words with more syllables. But something you can do is just kind of mix words. If you keep using the please stop the hippopotamus, if you wanted to do a 7 note grouping, hippopotamus already has 5 syllables, right? So you can just mix hippopotamus with the words stop, D. Stop has 1 syllable, D has 1 syllable, so 1 plus 1 plus 5 has 7. Just be aware that the more notes you try to fit in, the faster you gotta play. So you can do, please stop the hippopotamus, please stop the hippopotamus, please stop the hippopotamus, please stop the hippopotamus. And now you can start to add these sorts of odd note groupings to your own solos. I know, let's add something like... And if you can just effortlessly mix those in, cool. But if you're anything like some of my students, you may find that you kind of have the Zakk Wylde syndrome. And I don't really call it the Zakk Wylde syndrome because Zakk Wylde does it a lot. It's just because it happens with Zakk Wylde sort of licks. I usually tell my students, okay, try to just improvise over, I don't know, maybe just a chord vamp, and do your regular solos, but then try to fit in some of those kind of Zakk Wylde sextuplet licks. And instead of being kind of a free-flowing thing, it's kind of like, okay, you're playing your regular solo and then you flick the switch and then you go into Zakk Wylde sextuplet mode, then you flick the switch back and then you get back to your regular soloing. And that's not really what we want. So an exercise I usually give these students is that I give them like a medium tempo, like I don't know, 80, 90, perhaps 100 BPMs. And then I tell them, okay, just keep a 2-note grouping, aka like 2 8 notes, and then do a quarter note triplet, then play 4 16th notes, then play a quarter note quintuplet, then play a quarter note sextuplet, then play a quarter note septuplet, and then play 8 32nd notes. I think it's easier if you look at the tab. We basically have a 2-note grouping, a 3-note grouping, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you're wondering how that sounds, it kind of sounds like this. Here's it a little bit slower. And even though it may seem like a random exercise, it can work out really good for you. Because you're not just playing 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're actually dividing the beat equally into the number of notes you want. And that seems fine by itself. But then try to play it by using your foot to tell the tempo. Try it without the metronome or without the backing track. Let's see how it turns out. If you'd like the tab in a meaty kind of Guitar Pro, Sibelius, MuseScore kind of a thing, DM me on Instagram. I'll send it to you for free. And after you've managed to do this, you can do the exact opposite. Which is instead of going 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you can go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Again, kind of like this, and then a little slower. And even if you think to yourself, okay, this is cool and all, but I'm not really going to play this, right? If somebody tells me, okay, play quarter note quintuplets in like 120 BPM, I might be able to do it, but in most cases I won't really use this sort of a thing. And this is where we disagree. Because one, you can of course play it just as a lick while you're improvising. But you can also kind of mix-match things up. You don't necessarily need to do it 4, 5, 6, 7. You could rearrange that order in whichever way you want. And in fact, I kinda challenge you to do this. Film yourself either just play one of these licks, or even play one of your own, by kind of switching the order of these tuplets, then post it on Instagram and tag me on it. I'll give you a shout out and repost it. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope this video was helpful to you in any way possible, and if it was, please leave me a comment below. Do you have anything to add to this discussion? Did you agree? Did you not agree? Was there something I missed? Something I should have said? Again, leave it in the comment section. If you're not aware yet, I have this dedicated series where I teach whatever you guys leave in the comment section below. So if you want to get some sort of a shout out, don't forget to leave a comment with what you want me to talk about. And as always, I'm giving away free one-on-one Skype lessons. And anyone can enter, but they are limited though. so you gotta be fast. And all you have to do to win one free Skype lesson and discounts on future lessons is to subscribe to my channel, turn on all the notifications, follow me on Instagram, and then DM me either on Instagram or one of my other social medias, again links will be below, with screenshots, proving that you did everything mentioned before. And yeah, I guess that's it. Again, thank you so very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on all the notifications, perhaps apply for those Skype lesson thingies, leave a comment if you have something you want me to talk about, and yeah, cheers!